All right, everyone. Wow, this might be a record. Thank you very much. Just starting the show, and I'm seeing comments in the chat from three separate people. Thank you very much for showing up on this December 16th, 2021. And for the first time for this new fall season of the show, starting at 1 p.m. Central Time, because starting at noon is way too freaking early for people. Thank you, Matt, for showing up early. Wade's here. He says Chewbacca. Jason Sum is here. He said he forgot it's Thursday, but then he must have remembered. Matt says, let's go. A lot of pressure to entertain now is upon my shoulders. Let's go. Where are we going? Other than to hell in a handbasket. All right. Well, off to a good start this week with people in the chat from before the show even started. That's my kind of radio show. So, what shall we talk about? Matt says, "Oh shit, my mic is breaking up a bit. Is it that clipping bullshit, or is it that static? The last Nate and Beth show, there was like this static." I'm waiting for the feedback on the mic. He says it's more static. Okay. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. Matt says it doesn't sound like it's clipping. I'm just kind of fiddling with wires. I don't know. I don't know what causes it. He says like it's got a bad connection or something. Yeah, every time I do microphone stuff, like on just videos with like I did one showcasing some Terror Train stuff that I saw on eBay. The mic always works fine, so I'm of the opinion it has something to do with YouTube live streaming something or other. So what are other people hearing? Matt says most electronics are absolute junk. You're lucky they last a month nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could grab the phone and give a listen to see what because when the last Nate and Beth show, it was some static would pop up. So Wade says I bought Night of the Creeps on Laserdisc and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. Okay. Jason says it's a live chat thing. Yeah, I think that's more probably what it is, because whenever I use the mic to just make videos on my editing software and then upload them, the mic is perfect. So Matt says it's not too bad. I think we're just going to roll with it because yeah, Wade says he won it on an auction for $38, but after tax and shipping it came to about $44. Its cover has some issues. Jason says it's more like a cracking sound. Yeah, that's probably that static that I first encountered on the last Nate and Beth show. I mean, is it just constant, or what are we talking about here? On Nate and Beth's show, it popped up for a few seconds and went away and then came up later on. I don't know if I should restart or what. I just don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Can't really plug a USB mic into the computer in any different way. Wade says, have you seen Night of the Creeps? And if so, did you enjoy it? I don't think I've seen it. Jason says the sound isn't horrible. It comes and goes. Well, that's a goddamn bummer. Like I say, USB connection, I mean, there's not a lot of different ways to connect the mic into the computer. I tell you. But as I said before, I've never had an issue with the mic at all, just doing videos on the editing software and then uploading them. It's always just a live stream thing, which makes me think it's not the mic, it's something to do with the stream. Wade says maybe I should capture it and stream it all for you. Maybe you should. Matt says if you went off your laptop audio, you would know if it were the mic or just a live thing. That's true. Thing is, earlier in the year when I unplugged the mic, I think it just went to silence. Then I had to restart. So I don't know. What are we thinking? Run with this or start it over with laptop mic, which really sounds good. Jason says Night of the Creeps is truly amazing, pure homage to the 50s B movies era. So good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let me grab the phone and see if I can hear what we're dealing with. So glad I started streaming. Just problems. Wade says Tom Atkins is in Night of the Creeps. Yeah, I think I knew that already. Wade says my speakers suck on my Hackintosh laptop, so Nate's mic messing up a little doesn't bother me personally. All right, thanks for the feedback. Jason says it seems to have died down a bit. He's listened to much worse audio-wise. It's just a bummer. I can't disconnect and plug back the mic. I've tried that before. It just goes completely quiet. There's like 3 people here and it only says 1 person watching. Matt says, I'd just check it for next week. I don't know what you mean. How do I check it? Oh, he says, do a live stream on private before to see what it is next week. Oh, he says, do a live stream on private before to see what it is next week. Yeah, that's true, but just because a test works doesn't mean the actual show's going to work. That would be my response to that. I tell you, that's the one bummer about this stuff is, you can't really hear what you're doing, so you can't know if you're good or not. So far we spent the almost first 10 minutes just bitching about the sound. Matt says you should hear it when you listen back, though on a test run it saves the videos. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that just because the test run works doesn't mean that when you go to do it again it's going to work. Jason says it could also be on YouTube's end. YouTube been odd lately. The other night at 3 a.m., YouTube was down for over 20 minutes. I know. Like I said, the last Nate and Beth show had this static stuff that came up and went, and it was the first time I've ever experienced that. Matt says they starting their cyber attacks. Yeah. it could be that, just ramping up the internet problems for the coming quote unquote cyber attacks. Quote unquote cyber attacks. Testing. Quote unquote cyber attacks. Testing. Quote unquote cyber attacks. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Quote unquote cyber attacks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, to me, that right there was that clipping thing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, to me, that right there was that clipping thing. 1, 2, 3. Double feedback, the motion picture. Right there was that clipping thing. 1, 2, 3. Double feedback, the motion picture. Audio, House of Mirrors. Audio, House of Mirrors. House of reflective audio devices. House of Mirrors. House of reflective audio devices. Oh yeah, baby, right there. Oh yeah, baby, right there. Oh yeah, baby, right there. That was fun. Okay. That was actually kind of, it's like pretty psychedelic, dude. All right. Let's see here. Matt says, yeah, maybe YouTube doesn't like you anymore. Can you turn the gain down on the mic? No, I cannot. There's no knobs on the mic itself. And I've mentioned in previous shows that I found a place to actually turn down the mic level on the computer, but when you start the YouTube stream, YouTube kind of hijacks it and does whatever it wants. It's actually going, during a YouTube stream, it's actually going up and down at random. So there's nothing I can do. I looked into it the early part of the year, and there's nothing you can do about it. Matt says this is still way less annoying than even one leaf blower. So yeah, why don't we just enjoy the show? And he says, how sad is that? It's pretty sad. Matt says. Matt says a mic squealing, echoing, and odd noises is still much more pleasant than to hear one leaf blower. Wade says, yeah, I agree. Wade says, did you buy all your $50? Oh, did you all buy your $50 Kindred Blu-ray? I sure didn't. Yeah, I sure didn't either. I will not be buying the $50 Kindred Blu-ray. Jason says, but there's no real point to a shutdown YouTube of all the internet sites to hit a free video streaming site isn't on the list of things banks and hospitals tend to get cyber attacks. That's true, but they work in mysterious ways. Those assholes. I think it's fair to say that a lot of people's lives would be completely destroyed if, YouTube just disappeared one day, though. I mean, a lot of people's livelihoods are on YouTube. Matt says to Jason, YouTube just gets censored, but the banks and all are definitely going to get hit. Yeah, yay. Something to look forward to. Wade says, Nate, have you ever eaten pork roll pork roll sandwiches? Do you know what that is? Sandwiches made out of pork roll? Wade loves pork roll. I don't think I've had pork roll sandwiches. I've had pork. Yeah. What's pork roll? They just roll pork up into a roll? This is crazy. Yeah, see, another thing that just points to YouTube not being what it used to be is like for right now, there's like all I see is one person listening when there's clearly three people, at least three people here. So like ever since they did that thing where they made the thumbs down not readable, like the uh the listening counter on the live shows has always been not accurate. So there you go. Um I'm seeing three hitchhikers. Thank you very much. And let me just, now that we're kind of, I don't know, just suffering through the technical difficulties of the show, let me just thank you guys again for showing up right at the beginning of the show. That honestly, that honestly means a lot. So thank you very much, and apologize for the technical difficulties. You know, I do kind of think that I think Jason said that he tends to think it's more on YouTube's end, and I kind of agree. So I think we'll just roll with this. What I heard when we did our little audio house of mirrors or house of speakers and microphones is I just heard that what I heard was the normal clipping stuff. So Jason says, plus YouTube is owned by Google, but they actually support VPNs. Apple is against VPNs. I guess I'm not so much of a computer nerd where I even know what a VPN is, I'm afraid. Matt says pork roll is pretty good. I haven't had one in a while. Wade says, I just got my glasses yesterday. It was predicted to take them 2 weeks to make, but it ended up being closer to 4 weeks, of course. Of course was my reaction to it. And then he continues, right now it's taking my eyes time to adjust to this new prescription. Well, that sucks. Sorry to hear about that. But this is a movie channel. No damn prescription eyeglasses talk. Just kidding. We can talk about whatever as long as it's not too controversial. Definitely can't tell by the counter how many people are listening these days, that's for sure. What are people's thoughts on Matrix 4? The more I see, they're putting up clips now, and honestly, the more I see, the more it kind of looks kind of cool. Like, it almost looks like it might be one of the more, I don't know, interesting reboots slash remakes. And I was thinking the other day that might be one of the first reboots slash remakes where the two main stars from the previous films are actually in it. Or well, two of the three main stars, I should say. Isn't it kind of weird how they, replace Morpheus but not Trinity, I guess? But if you look at the trailers, it seems like, Neo and Trinity, assuming they're in the Matrix, are gonna meet in the Matrix and have some kind of a deja vu thing and whatever. So, I don't know, but the more I see of Matrix 4, the more it actually looks kind of cool. Not I don't necessarily think I'm necessarily venture out into the theater to see it, but the more I see about it, the more interested I am in it. I'll blind buy the Blu-ray for sure. Wade says, enjoying the high gas prices, Nate? Yes, I am. Jason says to Wade, there's always LASIK eye surgery worth looking into. That scares me. That actually scares me. I don't think I'd ever try doing that. Matt says, probably regarding Matrix 4, he says, it looks okay. I might go see that Spider-Man movie in the theaters, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to just watch Matrix on HBO Max instead of going to theaters. So do you have HBO Max already, or are you going to sign up just to watch it? I thought about signing up just to watch it and then canceling. But then I'm like, well, not, $10, that's like, almost, that's like half or almost half of what the Blu-ray is going to cost, Wade says, I do not like that Morpheus was replaced. That's true, but if you look at that clip with the guy who replaced him, he's pretty good. But I hear you there. Maybe they shouldn't have replaced him, because it's arguably he's, one of the three main stars. But who knows, maybe they'll have some compelling reason they give in the movie for that or whatever. But I do think it's going to be kind of interesting the more I see of Matrix 4. Matt says Nate has to get back in that Miata to save on gas. Yeah, that might be a good reason to get it out of storage. That thing, you freaking. God, I can remember 2001. 2001. I don't remember. You put $10 in the Miata, and it lasts for like 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, okay. Matt says his mom has HBO Max. Okay, kindly give me the sign-in account and password, please. I'll much appreciate it. Well, that's lucky. Wade says, I think The Matrix should have ended with the first movie. I actually kind of agree with that. I think that the first one was so compelling and so mind-blowing that I actually agree with that. Matt says to Wade, it pretty much did since the other movies sucked and were stupid. Yeah, kind of. You can look at it that way. As much as I like the original Halloween too, that's kind of how I feel about Halloween as well. Just too bad it wasn't just, one Halloween movie, but that's okay. At least Terror Train was just one movie. Can you imagine if Terror Train had been successful? They would have had this, bandaged up frickin' Kenny Hampson with one foot in the sequel. That would have been funny. Would have had like, much snow burn on his face, or what's that called? Frostbite, black nose. Matt says, you think the LED lights are bad on the bike trail. Wait until you drive the Miata at night with those new LED headlights. Are you talking about the other people? I don't have LED headlights on mine, but are you talking about the new LED headlights on newer vehicles? Jason says the original Matrix was outstanding, but it sort of started a very lazy trend to action films and using bullet time as a gimmick. People should relax. The two follow-up sequels were horrible in action films. Matt says the other people. Oh, okay, the other people's LED headlights. Yeah, you know what? The thing I think is really annoying about the newer vehicles is when, if someone's making a turn, like the headlight that's located on the side of the turn signal that's blinking will go off so you can better see the turn signal. It's just like, oh my God. And then some of the newer cars, like if you're behind one and they step on the brakes, the third light, up high in the center will like blink, a flash a few times. Jesus Christ. It's like they're just God damn it. Jason says LASIK eye surgery is very strange, but it's a real deal miracle of modern technology. Flashing back to New Year's Evil. It had it done when I was 20. No, I'm 41. Now I'm 41, I imagine he meant to say. Well, that's cool. I'm not saying people shouldn't do it. It just scares me. But I'm glad that it worked out well for you. Wade says Blade did the slow-mo bullets before Matrix. Matrix copied off Blade. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's the one thing about Matrix 4 that's not going to be as amazing as, like, say, the first movie back in the day, because, we've seen so many slam bang visual effects movies since that it's, any of the Matrix, whatever, slow mo spectacle stuff probably, pardon me, isn't really going to be much these days, because we've seen everything. Like our ability to be wowed is pretty much kaput more or less these days. It's like we've seen them do everything. Did Matt have to set his alarm? I imagine so. Last week he woke up at like 3 or p.m. or something. Matt says The Matrix 4 was written by a man who thinks they are other something else, so my expectations are very, very low. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that in that Asian character in the new one, but to be fair, the very first movie had that freaky ass looking female character in it as well. So you can't really say that the Matrix are just doing it like that's a new thing with the Matrix, because even in the first movie there was that nasty ass female character that one wasn't necessarily sure what the hell it was. So Matt says, no, I've been waking up at like 1 a.m. now. Oh, well, then it's almost time for bed. Do you mean PM or AM? Wade says the CG in Blade is kind of crappy, but the movie is quite entertaining. I don't remember being impressed by the CGI back in '98. When I watched it at the movie theaters, it looks too computer generated. Wade says I haven't seen The Matrix in a while, so I don't know how well the CGI has aged in that movie. Probably just as crappy looking. Matt says no, 1 a.m. AM. AM. Okay. So then, like I say, you probably go to bed after the show. Now I'm seeing 0 listeners on the counter. See what I mean? It's just like, what a joke. Okay, 1 listener. Yay. Jason says, one concerning thing about Matrix reboot is the timing. It's tied into Unreal Engine 5, so Epic Games might be involved, so it may have only been made for tax slash license reasons. Oh, it's tied in with some game thing. Matt says, oh my God, we died. No listeners. We are ghosts. Oh no. Lucky us. Oh, what's everyone, Jason's comment kind of reminds me of what's everyone think of Meta and the future of living in virtual reality, living, not only living, but and working, living, working, and relaxing in virtual reality. And then I read some horrible news article yesterday about them really wanting to push digital clothes and digital fashion. And it's just like, because kids are already fucking spending, money on real world money on clothes for video game characters. So, it's already happening. So, what are people's thoughts on living in virtual reality? Like, I knew when Ready Player One movie came out that it was just a movie to get us used to the idea or introduce the idea of that because it's the plan they have for us. Matt says, "Is it me or is I don't know? Keena Reeves seem like he had a lobotomy. I know he wasn't always the most upbeat guy, but he really seems off nowadays. I don't even know who the hell that is. Oh, Keanu. Yeah, I haven't hung out with them for a while, so I don't. I don't. Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe like you mean just in the videos you see on YouTube? Maybe he's kind of zombie-ish. I mean, I guess it's just his in public persona. Yeah, could be. He probably didn't want to do any more Matrix movies, so they lobotomized him so he'd do it. And then they're gonna make a never-ending plethora of Jason, what's it called? John Wick movies, and he didn't want to, so they lobotomized them. Could be. Wade says, speaking about Epic Games, I don't even. Shimu 3 is free today from Epic Games. Go get it now so you can keep it forever with your Epic Games account. Tomorrow it won't be free anymore and will expire on 11 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. Oh, Wade meant 11 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Matt says I can't spell his name. Jason says there's a mini tech demo using the new Matrix. It's on YouTube. It's built around the new version of Epic's game engine. The amount of money Warner Brothers spent is very hinky. Matt says another thing, doesn't Mark, you know what, and other people like him cough, old man in the White House cough, they don't look like they have blackish eyes and seem legit robots or just non-human like. Yeah, that video of Zuckerberg doing the meta thing, god dang, yeah, he looks like a robot version of his former self. Should we return to the house of microphones and speakers? That was kind of fun. It's like as close as I've ever got to being fucked up. Ho ho ho! Merry Shitmas! Ho ho ho! Merry Shitmas! Ho ho ho! Merry Shitmas! That is really fun. So if the show's getting boring, I can always enter the house of microphones and speakers. It sounds like the audio is okay now, and maybe a little bit of that clipping, but let's see here. Jason says very few actors / actresses are that bright. Jay Thomas used to always knock Hollywood for all being damaged and very stupid people. Matt says it's like all these people were quote unquote replaced. Matt says now they could have very easily gotten actors with high end masks on or some CG, but who knows? Yeah, I mean anything's possible nowadays. I've always wondered why, like Matrix 4, like the CG doesn't even necessarily look any better than the first three movies, and I always wondered if, because I always assumed when CG started that it just keep getting better and better, but it seems to just kind of like plateaued and just stay fakery. Makes you wonder if that's the CG they have in movies to make us think that that's as good as it gets, but they can actually do it a lot better, and they do it better for other purposes. But yeah. Well, just past 30 minutes into the show. Was very got a lot more done in the first 30 minutes this week than last week, where I'm just blabbing to myself last week for the first 28 minutes. I listened to that back though, and I did a pretty good job. I can pat myself on the back a little bit, keeping the show going until someone showed up. Matt says, "Yeah, they should be able to make the CGI almost like at this point. Maybe he meant like real or something." That's what I thought. Like by now, you'd think it would just be indistinguishable from reality, but who knows? Matt says there's literally no reason why they can't, but yeah, could be part of the budget and them using it for only for old man in the White House and other things they need to fake. Oh, he meant lifelike. So I've been meaning to ask Matt this. You've got a donation button on your YouTube. Has anyone donated to you? Oh, Matt says no. He's laughing his ass off. I'm sorry. Not one donation. He's laughing his ass off in caps now. Well, that sucks. Oh, today, just before I started the show, I found some Silent Night, Deadly Night lobby cards on eBay. So I think I'm going to do another one of those cheap ass videos where instead of actually having the thing physical, I'll do a showcasing of the Silent Night, Deadly Night lobby cards using pictures because it's so funny because it's like if I have the real thing physical anyway, I'll take pictures of them to show them on the on the video, and it's like just using YouTube pictures is no different than me taking pictures of them if I have them myself. So I think I'll do a video with Silent Night, Deadly Night lobby cards. They're not very exciting, but I noticed that Linnea Quigley's actually got a sweater on in one of them, which is kind of funny. Jason says HBO Max is worth having for a good 2 months. Their selection of high quality BBC content on there, all in HD. Okay. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, I was going to do earlier in the week a video letting people know, reminding people about the new 1 p.m. start time, but I was lazy. I figured, I schedule the stream like 12 hours or more in advance, and I figure people can see that if they want to know when the hell it's starting. But like I say, I do appreciate, not to get too whatever, people showing up at show start this time. So thanks. I don't really like doing 3-hour shows. So this way maybe I can just do 2-hour shows. So Matt's thinking about possibly going to the theater to see Matrix. Have you been to when's the last time you were at the theater? Have you been to it since the whole world went to shit? I haven't. I was contemplating going to see Ghostbusters, but I didn't. Oh, okay. The last time Matt was at the theater was when he saw Joker. Okay. Yeah, that was October 2019, wasn't it? Or was that I think so. I don't remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, he says so. October 2019 was the last time he was in the theater. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Matt says he might go see Spider-Man in theater. Matrix, he'll probably watch. Oh, that's right, because your mom has. Okay, gotcha. I forgot. See, I wasn't a fan of. I liked Spider-Man: Homecoming, but I didn't really like Far From Home. So, but that's okay. That's just me. Matt says, and it was sort of ruined last time I was there in a theater by people being loud. Go figure. Yeah, people can suck. It's like they go to the movie theater to have a party. Jason says you really don't need theaters anymore. Um, they'll be extinct within the next 5 years, probably sooner. But I hear you. Matt says Far From Home was terrible, but yeah, this new one looks decent. Oh, okay, so at least we can agree on that. Yeah, that kind of put me off to any future Spider-Man, but maybe I'll see the new one on Blu-ray or something. We've got Will Powell. He says, "Hi Nate, welcome Will. Welcome Will Powell. From what I understand, shit's getting shitty back again over where he is in the UK. with moronic terrorizing the world. Matt says, to be fair, what won't be what I don't know if he typed something wrong. To be fair, what won't be extinct within 5 years? Okay, I get you. Even most humans laugh out loud. Okay, I think he typed correctly. That's a good point. What's going on with Will these days? Do we still have when's the last time what's his name said something? Wade. Do we still have Wade here? Wade? Wade? Oh, there's Wade. Let's see here. Matt says the rate their liquid medicine is going. I don't know how many people are going to make it. I know, isn't that scary? Wade says, what are the most popular VHS players? I've always had Panasonic VHS players at my house growing up, so I'm pretty sure they're a popular brand. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I'd know the answer to that question. Matt says, and that doesn't take into account the weather warfare shit and other ways they're gonna get us all. I know it was frickin' like nearly 60 degrees here yesterday, and then I was so afraid because there was gonna be a big thunderstorm that, as the cold front blew in overnight, and we were gonna have these high ass winds. Luckily, we didn't get anything that very windy here, but I think other people did, and I was just lucky. Nearly 60 yesterday and in the 20s today. That's natural weather. Will Powell says he stopped worrying about something that the media wants you to worry about. He couldn't give a shit anymore. His dog passed away recently and someone broke my heart. So that one thing in the news is the last thing on his mind. Sorry to bring the mood down. Well, shit. Sorry about your bad news. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about what the media wants you to worry about. So, good mindset there. Will's getting better. Movies are a good escape, and good people like yourself. Well, thank you very much. Or people like myself who can pretend to be good. Matt says at Will, there's no reason to care about the bigger. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right. I call it the bigger C. Cancer used to be the big C, but now I call, the bigger C. He calls it the C word. It doesn't. Okay, you can read if you want, want to read that. Got to watch what I say. Of course, I didn't say anything. I said the bigger C. Anyway, you can read it. He says, laugh out loud. Jason says, good Lord, the sky has been falling almost my entire life. Humanity is very stupid, but they are like cockroaches. They'll live on much longer. Ew. Matt says, yeah, you hear about all those deadly tornadoes in all those states? I know. That sucks. Matt says, 1 week before leading up to that, there were multiple videos of people filming insane amounts of drones flying in the sky at night, like 100 plus lights flying over the states that those tornadoes would go on to happen in. Oh, that's pretty fishy. Wade says, did anyone else think movies nowadays suck compared to the 90s, 80s, and 70s movies? Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, I can't even barely stand movies nowadays. Like I say, they're movies, video games are becoming more like movies, and movies are becoming equally like video games. Yeah, I mean, it's so wonderful to just watch an old movie because now you never know, if what you're seeing is real or fakery. Wade's desperate to keep us talking about movies. Yeah, I can agree with that way. Jason says Mother Nature doesn't play. We don't respect the planet and bad things happen. And that's one way to look at it. Will says he's recently been thinking about what to do next with life, thinking of visiting America. He wants to see the rural side of things, thinking Montana. Would you what recommend? Yeah, I mean, I guess there's rural in Montana, but you can pretty much find rural most anywhere in America. You just have to drive to the country. I don't know how rural you're looking to get, but Montana's pretty. Yeah, my dad's mom used to live in Montana, so a couple times, maybe 2 or 3 times, we drive out to go see her. And yeah, the cool thing about Montana is it's got them, like hills, mountains and stuff, kinda mountainous with all them pine trees and stuff, so that's really cool. I guess it depends what kind of ruralness you're looking for. Matt says to Will, "Stay away from the cities." Yeah, I mean, the only problem with traveling these days is you never know how long you're gonna be stuck. You never know if you're ever gonna be able to get home because it seems like they're changing things almost every daily or weekly these days. So it's like if you leave, are you gonna even be able to get back? But I guess that's a risk you're sounds like you might be willing to take. Wade says, didn't the protesters at the Dakota pipeline throw trash on the ground because they care so much about the environment? I am mocking these people. They don't seem to care much about the environment. Will says, I was just watching a bit of the river wild the other month. I thought that would be a good location to visit. I think that's Montana. I think they say it's Montana in the movie, but if you look at the end credits, I think they filmed it somewhere else. But that's kind of what Montana looks like. There might have been multiple locations that they actually filmed in. Maybe some of it was Montana, but you got to look at the end credits or something. But yeah, River Wild is a favorite movie of mine. It's just I love movies like that are just basically all outdoors. So that's a good one. What a great score too, Jerry Goldsmith. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Du, du, du. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. I've actually got the original theatrical poster sitting right next to me, River Wild, hanging up on the wall. I got it from Suncoast. It's one of those double-sided ones for the light box. So if you look at the back of it, it looks like, if you're looking at the poster in the mirror, it's out of one of those light boxes. So I don't know if you can hear it. That's the poster. River Wild, double-sided from a light box. From the director of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. The vacation is over. The River Wild. Jason says it's probably Canada. Will Powell says, is it safe around there? Am I gonna be attacked by hillbillies like Deliverance? Haha. Um, I've never been attacked by hillbillies. Can't say it's safe here though. Matt says to Will, it's safe outside of the major cities. And it depends on the city too. Any small town or city in Montana will be safe. Gary Page is here. He says, hi, Nate. Sorry he missed the start. That's okay. We actually had 3 people show up right at start, and actually, which was really cool. And then we had some like technical difficulties, and but Very nice to have had 3 people show up right at the start. Wade says, F Canada, South Park the movie. Welcome, if I didn't say it already, welcome, Gary. Oh, Matt says, how are you liking your new winter studio? Yeah, I think it's going pretty well. One of the advantages with it is the lighting is artificial, and so it's always constant. If you've seen some of the bloopers and stuff from recent years, in the other studio, it's like all natural lighting, and depending on what kind of day you're having, it can be kind of, or even time of year, the lighting can be a little frustrating. But one of the advantages to the new studio is the lighting is just, it's all fake. So it's just perfectly consistent. And, you can shoot a video day, night, doesn't matter. Wade says, have we all seen the South Park movie? I have, but it's been a while. Matt says, I still don't get why you have a winter studio versus just using the other one to make winter videos in. Yeah, it's complicated. I'll just say that a lot of it has to do with heating. It's more convenient to heat the new studio than it is to heat the what I guess I can now call the summer studio. Maybe I'll just leave it at that. Matt says, "Oh, well, you pretty much said what I had to say." Matt says, "I thought maybe the winter studio was warmer or something." That's exactly correct. It's more convenient and what's it called? Economical to not shoot in the summer studio in the winter. Jason says no matter where you go in America, it's a major risk. The entire state of Florida is pure insanity. Guns in school. Yeah, dude, come to America. Look at our track record. Go anywhere but the USA. Yeah, but I'd say that guns in school shit is just what the media wants you to think. Just to don't. I mean, Will's not going to come over here and go to school. Will says, I've always loved watching westerns and films like River Wild, Deliverance, Dante's Peak for the scenery. I want to visit places like that in America. And any advice on traveling the U.S. would be great. Well, like you say, like the Dakotas and Montana, would be. I mean, believe it or not, just because I live in America doesn't mean I know all the amazing places to visit. But the Dakotas, Montana, certainly. I mean, if you're that close, you might as well stop by Minnesota and get you in some huge movie fanatics videos. I'd say if you like westerns, check out Arizona. Arizona's kind of cool. Maybe California. I mean, I don't know how long you're planning staying. Maybe California. I love Griffith Observatory, but not much else in California. We didn't have time to really check much. Oh, you know what's really beautiful is we drove through Northern California because we flew to San Francisco and drove down to Vegas. So Northern California, right where Skywalker Ranch is really beautiful. If you like Return of the Jedi and how Endor looks, Northern California. That's a little bit of advice on US traveling, kind of like the Dakotas, Montana, maybe Arizona, Northern California. Those are some of my initial advices. Matt says, God knows how many actually happened. Right, that's what I'm saying. Media wants us to think an alternate version of the world. Matt says, America is huge. Read what Jason says if you want to know what he says. Sorry, Jason, I just tend to try to not say stuff that might get me in trouble. Matt says just traveling around in one state is a lot, let alone the whole country. I know. That's another thing. Oh, that's another thing. I mean, frickin' Will's from the UK. I mean, his whole, England is just the size of one state in America. So maybe, yeah, that's a good point, Matt. Will's got to think on, well, I guess he could think in terms of going to different countries over there in Europe or something, but it seems like even Europe is a lot smaller than America. Let's see here. Jason says there's something in the water here, that's for sure. Matt says, yeah, read what Matt says. Matt says, let's see. Okay, yeah, you can read that if you want to see what he says. Okay, yep, that. Will Powell says, maybe I should rent a car and travel around. I just don't want to get into any dangerous situations. Ha ha. There are many beautiful places in England, by the way, but the news only shows London crime. Matt says, you'll be fine. Just look up crime demographics. All the data is there. Well, I'd say if you pretty much do what Matt says and stay out of cities, you'll be probably fine. Matt says, avoid the crime demographic areas. Future Boy says, we need high-speed trains like Japan and Europe. Have we ever seen Future Boy here? Welcome, Future Boy. Will says, I could travel the whole main road of England in 9 hours. Haha. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, your whole country is the size of one of our states. All right, everyone, approaching an hour into the show. Thanks a lot for showing up. See you guys next time. Click. Wade says, does anyone else think more? Maybe I shouldn't read this. I'll read it to myself and answer it. So if anyone wants to know what Wade says, feel free to read the chat. And yeah, it's one way you could look at it. Right. I remember years ago, some president or something said that they weren't going to say the names of these people anymore that were involved in those situations because it's just publicity for them. Like, whatever happened to that? But Wade brings up a good point. But I guess my answer to that question, and pretty much, I'm not even going to say it. Wade brings up a good point. I don't know if what it says about my personality, but I don't think Will has even experienced the house of microphones and speakers. So it's been a while since we've been in the house of microphones and speakers, the house of feedback. So let's, okay, Matt says something to Wade. Oh, I can't even read this out loud. So Matt has a good point. Read it if you want to see what he says. Gary says, not too bad here, where I live, 20 minutes into Manchester and 20 minutes the other way into countryside. Will says, yeah, read what he said if you want to know what he said. I agree. It's ruining everything. I was just watching a video here before I started the show on YouTube about some guy interviewing people at a college in regards to well, I'll just say scientific facts versus, feelings and thoughts, and it's just pathetic what the world's coming to. Matt says, okay, yeah, read read what he says if you want to see what he says. Let's enter the house of microphones and speakers. Microphones and speakers. Boy, it's dark in here. Microphones. I can't see speakers. Anything. Boy, it's dark in here. Microphones. I can't see speakers. Anything. Boy, it's dark in here. Microphones. I can't see speakers. Boy, it's dark in here. Microphones. I can't see speakers. Boy, it's dark in here. Microphones. I can't see speakers. Boy, it's dark in here. That was fun. Let's see here. Oh, God. It's getting to the point where I can't read any of this stuff out loud. Matt says something. Read it if you want to see it. Let's see. I'm laughing at Wade's little comment. Read it if you want to see what he says. It's funny. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I can't really read that. Matt says something. That's true. Will Powell says, oh, okay, I can read this. Will Powell asks, when was the last time we got a raunchy comedy? You just don't get them anymore. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of them myself, but it seems like, the most popular raunchy comedy franchise I can really think of is American Pie crap, but I don't really keep up on them very much. It's not a genre that I really care that much about. Matt's retracting all kinds of messages, so if you're listening after the fact, you won't be able to read what he said. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a good question. Not exactly sure about the whole raunchy comedy thing. Matt says you bring them up and it's an insta ban. Gary says sounds like you're in a space shuttle. Yeah, T minus 10 seconds and counting. We got a little image of a rocket. Matt says, yeah. Yeah, I'd say they're half the problem. Just look at the Supreme Court. Will Powell says, let's see. Oh, shit. He's livening it up. Will says, to be honest, I've been having a bit of depression recently, so making a plan to see America has gave me something to look forward to. Yeah, that's understandable. I would assume, if this is something realistic, I would recommend obviously to wait until the spring or summer, which I would imagine you would do anyway. It's just such a bummer because we have no idea. You can't really plan anything anymore, which is such a drag. You have no idea what the spring and summer is going to look like in regards to the bigger C. Gary says, could you make screwballs today? Screwball comedies. Yeah, I know. Ugh. I mean, all you got to do is turn on the news and you got screwball comedy, or just go to a high school or a college and just look around. Will says, sorry to be a downer. Ha ha. That's okay. You're saying your truth. That's okay. I mean, we're just starting winter where I am in North America. I can't say my life is full of roses and flowers much myself. Matt says, He could always just go to Florida and travel up to Georgia slash Alabama. Yeah, travel up the East Coast and visit Matt in his shed too. Matt says at least you'll know the weather will be beautiful in Florida slash Georgia slash Alabama. But see, that's not even necessarily true anymore. I mean, what if you would have said last year to go to Texas, in February, it'll be beautiful. And if he would have taken your advice, he would have frozen. You never know what the hell the weather is going to be now either. That's the other thing. Nowadays it's freezing in Texas in February and 60 in Minnesota in mid-December. You can't count on anything anymore. Matt says, and he's probably never seen tropical areas like Florida has to offer, but I don't know where he's been. Will says, I lent someone First Blood the other day. They said they loved it, but thought it could be better if it had modern effects. I said, really? Like fake backgrounds and CGI? How old was that bloke? 30s or 20s? Matt says, probably in regards to my weather comment. Oh, shit, yeah, that's true, laughing his ass off in capitals. I don't think they can make Florida that cold, though. But I think, yeah, but I wouldn't have thought they'd be able to make Texas that cold. So I don't think they have a limit to their ability. Matt says Texas is more like a desert, so it's easier to pull off. We'll see. We'll see. That's a good point though, but we'll see. Will says they actually shot on location. Oh, with First Blood, yeah. What could be more immersive than that? Real stunts as well. Yeah, it's so funny how you show a young person a movie and that's real, and they're like, oh, they just it's like I've often compared it to the equivalent of showing someone a black and white movie. It's like some people can't watch black and white movies. It's now the young people, teens and 20 somethings, can't watch movies that don't have CGI in them. It's like, oh my God. Gary says, uh, is I don't know if this is a question. Is LA hot all year round? I don't know. I mean, I was there in July twice, and it was freaking seemed like it was cold in July. I guess I don't know about hot, but it's supposed to be, I guess pretty good weather more or less in the winter, I guess. I don't think it's necessarily hot all winter, but it's not. I don't know. What do I know? Matt says if Will had money to blow, I'd say go to Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios Park in Orlando, Florida. Great and fun rides there. No, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. But see that could change though. You never know. That's what I hate about right now. Is it's like I say, you can't make any plans. Matt says SeaWorld as well is really cool, and they have some fantastic roller coasters there as well. I take it Matt's amusement park enthusiast. That's cool. That's what I suggested. Matt says Will Powell can just come to Pennsylvania and stay in my shed. I'll show him around. Laughing out loud. Looks like you've got an invite there. Jason says I can name 2 awesome raunchy comedies, Suckers and Donnie's Bar Mitzvah from this year. Awesome hard edge raunch comedy. It's almost NC-17. All the good stuff is indie/underground. Okay, there you go. Whoever, I can't even know. I don't even remember who asked that question. Whoever asked the question about raunchy comedies, there you go. Thank you for your input. Matt says, take him to the streets of Philly. Give him the ghetto tour. Yeah. Looks like Will's going to stay in the shed. Just put a cot on the floor. I'm seeing 5 listeners at this point. So, down to 4. I had to mention it, didn't I? Perhaps the counter's working. I don't know. I give up. Well, definitely sorry to hear about your mental state, Will, but I think a lot of us are probably in the same position, even if we make videos where we're smiling in them. Oh, okay. C-Snap's here. He says, hey, Nate. Hey, guys. Thumbs up. Welcome, C-Snap. About an hour and 11 minutes into the show. Welcome, C-Snap. What's going on with C-Snap? Pretty good turnout today, I will say. So that's kind of fun. Matt says, I can give Will a ride in my Miata. That's true. That's true. I'm not hearing any feedback from Will about Matt's ideas, but oh, okay. Will says I'm. Okay. Yeah. I'm assuming Will's probably never been to America, I wouldn't imagine. Will says, Mama always told me not to take rides off strangers. Oh, that's true. Well, sorry, Matt. You'll be driving the Miata yourself. Jason says, Donnie's Bar Mitzvah is the best adult comedy in the last 10 years. Nobody knows about it due to the small indie label that financed it. When people, I don't know what C/O means. How everything is so watered down in PC, it's not. Will Powell says, ha ha. Gary says, is it snowing in Minnesota now? Well, let me fill you in on Minnesota weather. So last week, it was like Friday into Saturday, we got this blizzard. So I think we got 6 to 7 inches of snow. Yesterday, it got up to nearly 60 and rained. So all the snow pretty much is gone. And then it snowed a little bit in the morning, and now we're back to a dusting. So weather in Minnesota this December is insane. So that's where we are. Nearly 60 yesterday, melting most of the snow. Now it's back down to 20 something Fahrenheit, and just a little dusting of fresh powdery snow on the ground. C-Snap says, did you hear the Wilson volleyball from Castaway sold for $300,000 last week at auction? Great movie. No, I didn't, but I remember watching Castaway in the theater. Matt says it's 62 degrees Fahrenheit in Philadelphia now. Well, lucky you. Will says, thanks for the report, Matt. Will says, I've been to Las Vegas and the Grand Canyon. Oh, and technically Chicago, but only the airport. Okay, so Will's been here before. So he's been to the desert in Nevada and Arizona. Well, then heck, you kind of know what to expect. Matt says, which his temperature is 16 Celsius, I guess. Matt says it's normally like 40 or below by this time of year, laughing his ass off once again. He's got no ass left. Oh, okay. Jason's teaching us internet language. So C/O means complain. That's a new one on me. Gary retracted a message. C-Snap says the weather in Dublin has been very unusually warm the last few days. That's my Irish accent. Matt says I've never been to the desert. Oh, it's kind of cool. But, I guess then you've got this threat of rattlesnakes and tarantulas and what are those other things with the tail that stings you? Matt's always wanted to check out Arizona or Nevada. Yeah, one thing I can say, where coming from Minnesota and humid summer or summers where they can get humid, I love the dry heat of like Arizona and Nevada. I don't like humidity. So the dry heat of the, is really cool. Will says, it's so funny how Will Powell from the UK has been to Arizona, but Matt hasn't. That's so funny. Will says, I was only there for 5 days and it was all a bit of a blur. He wanted to see more of the woodland areas, but it was a group of friends, so I didn't have much of a say. C-Snap is crying tears of laughter about my failed attempt at Irish accent. Jason says, that doesn't sound right regarding the beach ball. Who would waste that kind of cash on an item that had multiple balls that were used more than once, even if it was signed? Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, pretty much all you got to do is just get a ball and just draw the drawing on there like the movie. But I guess if people want to buy that crap, they can. Will says, I only saw the Grand Canyon for an hour on a helicopter ride. And Gary Page retracted a message. Matt says, how much of a threat are those things really? I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't even know what he's talking about. Oh, he's talking about okay. He goes on to say there's plenty of poisonous insects and snakes in Florida, and I've walked around there plenty. Okay, he's talking about the desert animal poisonous threat. Matt says, you know what sucks now? I'll probably never visit any other English-speaking country now with how governments have become. I know that's kind of what I'm like too. I mean, I don't think I was necessarily going to go to any other country anyway, but now I probably never will. C-Snap says one of the screen used balls, you can see the auction result on the Pop Store location website. You know what I saw once? Because I used to go to Friday the 13th franchise.com. I haven't been there for a while, but I think they had a story. You can probably still see it on there about like a screen used Jason Goes to Hell mask that someone, won in an auction or something. And what was so pathetic about it is it was like signed on the, on the front of the hockey mask, like on the forehead or something by Kane Hodder. And it's like, what stupid shit would ruin the screen used hockey mask by having someone sign it? That to me was just the stupidest fucking, maybe on the inside, but not on the fucking outside. Yeah, I'm going to ruin this screen used hockey mask with the autograph. It's like, that autograph wasn't in the movie. No, but stupid ass. Gary Page says, as a kid growing up in the UK, we all wanted to go to America because of TV shows. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. So much of the programming comes out of America, so a lot of people in other parts of the world see America in the movies and TV shows that are made here. Will says the truly last great movie I saw in the cinemas was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but it really resonated with me. Masterful filmmaking. He saw Ghostbusters Afterlife the other week. Uh-oh, we've got a firsthand experience. He says absolutely awful. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Yeah, good thing maybe I didn't go see it. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I imagine, well, I don't know if we should bring it up, but I imagine the original three guys just show up at the very end to quote unquote save the day. Yeah, I figured as much. Jason says lots of screen use items are bought and sold back to studios, though it's a tax write-off. Oh, is it? C-Snap says might be hard to find a hockey mask not signed by Kane Hodder. That's true. I've got the Part 7 one I got on eBay this summer that's not signed by Kane Hodder, or at least it wasn't this morning. I better go check. Oh, shit. What if he's since signed it? Hold on, let me go check. God damn it, he signed it. Matt says, good old American dream. Uh-oh. No, don't say it's awful. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, he's talking about Ghostbusters. It's hard to know all sometimes what people are talking about because you've got 2 or 3 conversations going on. Yeah, Wade says toddler Ghostbusters. I know. Will says, yeah, they do show up at the end. Absolutely cringe. So it's cringe when they show up even? C-Snap's loving my attempt at the Irish accent. At least I got some appreciation. I'm just trying to think of that guy. If anyone, I don't know if anyone here has seen the original 39 Steps by Alfred Hitchcock, but there's I think there's some Irish characters in that guy who's got the young wife that lives out in the country. I think he's Irish. What do I know? Jason says, I can bank that Ghostbusters Afterlife was only made so Sony could keep the rights. You can tell the film was thrown together fast. They used Harold Ramis' likeness as a prop. I heard about that. What did they use? So they like CG'd him for like a flashback or yeah, god dang it. Yeah, kind of the more clips I saw of Afterlife made me actually want to see it less. So that's why I never ventured out to see it. I'll still see it, but Will says cinema is dead, unfortunately, unless we see a massive change soon. Well, I'm sure we'll see massive change, but it probably won't be a good change, and it'll just be a change that'll be the final nails in movie theaters' coffin. Jason says he's a ghost. It looks off. Oh, okay. Oh my God. So Egon. Wait. Oh, Egon is Spangler. So Egon's ghost is in the movie in CG form, huh? Matt says it's nothing but. Oh, okay. Well, movies are just okay. Yeah, that's true. Read what he said if you want to know what he said. I think it's always been, but I think it's just escalating to a point where it's just obvious now. I mean, TV and movies have always been cultural steering wheels, if you will, and just kind of. When I was a kid, I always thought that, people kind of made culture and then the media and stuff caught on afterwards and emulated what like the common folk were doing. But in later years I realized that no, it's the opposite. The media dictates culture and the common folk play along with it. Gary says, can shot on digital look like film? I mean, if you look at like, wasn't the, I can't remember his name right now, the guy who did Planet Terror, that was shot digitally, I think, and that looks pretty good. So I think, Robert Rodriguez, yeah. I think Planet Terror looks pretty good. They just put that fake filmery over it in post. But see, I think for the most part, movies that are shot digitally, they don't care to look like film, they don't want to. There's some digital movies that I think don't look horrible, but as a rule, I don't generally like the look. And some of them just look like really bad, but they can look okay. I mean, it all depends on what they do to it in post. I guess. Will says the only revival trend movie I liked was Jurassic World. It was dumb popcorn fun, but knew its time and was fun and didn't ruin anything that came before. Yeah, I was really impressed by Jurassic World as well. I thought that was a pretty good installment. Oh, Will Powell meant knew its tone. Yeah, I like Jurassic World as well. It'll be quote unquote interesting to see what they come up with the next one, which is next year, ain't it? I wasn't a big fan of Fallen Kingdom though. Jason says hopefully Harold Ramis' family got a nice payday. The story is so insulting to Ramis. They tried for years to do Ghostbusters 3. We get this act after the fact. Yeah, pretty much that. I didn't finish it or play the whole thing. I guess I kind of got bored with it. But I guess the closest thing we're ever going to get to Ghostbusters 3 was that video game that came out, and whenever it came out, 07, 08, I think. I never finished that. Sometimes video games, they don't keep my interest. I'm seeing 5 listeners, so that's amazing that the counter is working. And approaching the 1 hour and 30-minute mark, take this opportunity once again to thank everyone for showing up, and can't overstress how, cool that was that 3 people showed up right at the show's start. Thank you again for that. Jason says the Ghostbusters game is okay, but not a real sequel. Well, that's true. It's not. Will says, I think the best example of how to use CGI is the first Jurassic Park. It's used only when needed and hidden with great lighting. That's true. Back in when CG started, it was used only when they couldn't do specific shots any other way. So that's true. It was used sparingly, and now it's just used to do everything. So that's a good point Will makes. Wade says they went from all girl Ghostbusters to kid Ghostbusters. The whole series is just a beep mess of crap, what I can tell. That's true. I know. What's it going to be next? Animal Ghostbusters? This freaking cat and a dog and a chipmunk. Dun 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 dun. Woof woof. Meow meow meow. Matt asks, do people still believe in dinosaurs? Probably. uh, let's see here. Oh, okay. I was gonna see when the last time we heard from Wade, but he just said something. Matt says, I never bought into the dinosaurs when I got older. These creatures all went extinct. He laughs out loud. Yeah, that's what we're told. That damn rock, I tell you. We can't ride dinosaurs like they did in the Flintstones because of that damn rock. But who knows? Maybe someone will find some mosquitoes with dino DNA in it, and they'll open some theme park with real dinosaurs. Jason says, I think Dread 3D was all digital. It's a beautiful film. The 3D was the best home 3D in his opinion. Yeah, I remember buying that Blu-ray when it came out and haven't seen it for a while. If you watch my review of Dread, I was pretty disgusted with the gore, and it seems like there's like peeling the skin off people and stuff, but getting a little pansy in my older years. But I remember, I think, liking the 3D as well. I should actually take a look at Dread 3D again. It's been a long time since I saw it. I kind of remember liking it. Matt says, okay, dinosaurs were here at one point, and then he says, just not here anymore. Yep, that's what they say, that damn rock. Will says, I read somewhere that your eyes naturally don't accept CG as real. A puppet may look fake, but you're still subconsciously tricked by thinking it's real. Right, because, I mean, it is real. He says CG has no weight. Yeah, I mean, CG is just, ugh. I've often compared CG to being really no different than just, cartoon drawings. I'm seeing 6 listeners now. Wow, welcome everyone. This is like an old turnout from earlier in the year kind of a show. I had to say something, down to 5. Matt's been with us since I think Jason as well as, and I think Wade. Who showed up? I think Matt, Wade, and Jason have been with us since we started. So they've been with us for 90 minutes. So if I'm remembering correctly, thank you for showing up early and sticking with us. Yeah, I mean the brain can just tell that CG's a bunch of fakery, can it? Wade says maybe the human race should go the way of the dinosaurs with the how do you pronounce that? Idiocracy that is going on nowadays. I swear large parts of the population is only getting dumber. Yeah, that reminds me of that video I was watching just before I started the show with them interviewing college kids. And what's funny is they're at college, but they're probably learning a lot of this dumb shit they think there, though. Their college is pushing and all public schools pushing bullshit now. So Matt says, when did you first start going live? I don't know why, but I can remember the first day I did it. It was January 6th. I did some tests and I realized that, oh my God, I didn't think a channel with, at that time, I had less than 500 subscribers. I guess I kind of thought you needed 1,000 to live stream, but I guess you need 1,000 to mobile live stream. So January 6th was the first one, and you can still hear it. You can go listen to it back. Strangely enough, January 6th next year is going to be a Thursday. So we get to do the show on the 1-year anniversary to the day of the first show, which will be such a big, fun, glorious celebration. Jason says, Matt, you need some heavy medication to be so mistrusting and everything. It's not healthy. I hope he's kidding. We can only we can only assume he is. Wade says the wrong people are reproducing. I agree with that. Matt says to Wade, don't you worry, those liquid medicines got your back. Will says, anyone else think we've gone backwards? I think we reached out peak of, maybe our peak of filmmaking in the 90s effects wise, and we've just dropped ever since. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, I think they were all excited about the digital visual effects revolution, but I can't. I think at the end of the day, it ruined everything. Doing analog effects and stop motion and stuff was with real models and real effects and real makeup and stuff and animatronic creatures. I think it was much more pleasing than everything being just created in the computer. So I'd agree with Will on that. Matt says to Jason, medication? You mean poison that gives people a lobotomy? Okay, you can read Matt's other comment if you want. Matt says, okay, let me read this first. Yeah, read Matt's comment if you want to know what he says, assuming he doesn't delete it. Candyland, that's funny to hear that. I remember that game. Wade says only the actors, let's see, only the actors benefited from cheap ass CGI since they got a bigger paycheck. Don't some actors make 20 to 30 million dollars per film? That's how ridiculous the movie industry has become. Yeah, I think we're told that, but once again, I mean, just because they put numbers out in media doesn't mean it's true. But yeah, that's the general popular belief. Will says modern movies make Jaws the Revenge look good. At least it's a pretty looking movie. Yeah, I recently got the Blu-ray of that because I found it for like $5, and God, that movie sucks. But the Blu-ray looks good. It's true. Like it's like shot in the whatever Bahamas or something. So it's a pretty looking movie. But I can't believe how horrible Jaws the Revenge is. I actually saw it. For those of you who don't know, I saw Jaws the Revenge at the drive-in theater with my dad, and must have been, was it 87 when that came out? I don't think I was, necessarily watching it very much at the time, but I wouldn't I wouldn't see it again until I think the first Good Times DVD came out in '99, I want to say, and so it was the first time I saw it since the drive-in, and gosh, it's a bummer. So Matt says staying positive and keeping up appearances is very, very important in the dystopia that we're living in. If people accepted reality, then this world would come crashing down. That's why they want to put everyone on just in virtual reality because, yeah, Will says, I actually like Jaws 3. I know it's a bad movie for some reason. I like it. Ha ha. It's tacky as hell, but reminds me of better times. I've always liked Jaws 3, and especially if you're lucky enough to own be able to own the Blu-ray in 3D and watch it in 3D. That makes it even all the more fun. But I've never had a problem with Jaws 3. I think they went goofy with it at the appropriate time. I think doing a third movie serious would have only just been more of a joke. So I'm perfect. Yeah, I think Jaws 3 is fun. C Snap says he saw Jaws 4 and Superman 4 the same day in '87. I think I remember he saying that. What a horrible day. Wade says, is Jaws the Revenge the one with Michael Caine and Mario Van Peebles? And C-Snap says, yes, it is. Yeah, isn't that something? Not even Michael Caine could save Jaws 4. Or, can't remember the name of the skinny guy. I do like the skinny guy as an actor, though. I can't remember his name right now. I think it would have been cool, and I'm surprised they didn't actually put him in. How cool would it have been to have I'm sure he'd be willing to do it. That skinny guy, from Jaws 4 be in like one of these new Halloween movies, you know, just as kind of a cameo because he was in the original Halloween 2, which of course in this new Halloween series doesn't exist. So he could be in one of these new Halloween movies. Obviously, maybe Halloween Ends. It's gonna be so interesting. When's Halloween Ends supposed to come out? Is that supposed to be next October? It'll be so funny to see how they do Halloween Ends. What's the tagline gonna be? Evil dies tonight for real this time, or oh my god. C Snap says Michael Caine famously said when asked why did you do Jaws 4, his reply was I've never seen Jaws 4, but I've seen the house it built. Oh my god. How do you like that? Meaning his own, I imagine. Will says the scene when Dennis Quaid is trying to warn everyone about the shark when the big ski show is going on is actually a really good scene, good suspense. Yeah, I know, and he pulls that guy's mic from him, and the guy goes flying, and people think it's a part of the act. I think that the idea of doing the Jaws movie in the water park was genius. Jaws 3 is the perfect combination of just whatever, actual kind of terror and goofiness. Jason says some actors get points on the back end. Dude who played Iron Man got a piece of the box office. That's why he agreed to do the last two Avengers. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Will. Lance Guest is the skinny guy from Jaws 4 and Halloween, the original Halloween 2, and of course, Flight of the Navigator. Oh, okay, never mind. Will corrects me before I even finished saying it. Last Starfighter. Yeah, I get those movies confused. How cool would it be to have Lance Guest be in Halloween Ends? Let's petition to have it happen. I'm surprised they actually didn't do it. Like have him in Halloween Kills. Matt says, sorry I had to put my headphones on. My douchebag neighbor has 5 leaf blowers going off and a lawnmower. Are you kidding or serious? You should record it and make a video about it. But putting your headphones on doesn't really affect us though, but apology accepted. Jason says, aren't we already in virtual reality with smartphones though? People are glued to these silly apps. Yeah, I'd agree. And I think that's how the people who run and rule the world are actually smart. They got our toes, not really ours because I'm not on the phone like that psycho like most people are, but they got humanity's toes dipped into VR through the phones because as Jason says, to an extent the phones are the first step of putting the world into VR. So I would agree with that completely. Matt says he has maybe 5 leaves on his lawn. Oh my god, so he needs a leaf blower, a separate blower for each leaf. I guess you can't video record it because then you wouldn't be able to participate in the chat at the same time. Wade says, will Lori in a wheelchair in Halloween Ends? Yeah, there you go. Jesus, Jamie Lee Curtis is old and she looked really old in the last movie. I know. She probably shouldn't have had like her upper arm showing. Oh, it's just so sad when I think of her in Terror Train and Trading Places, but I guess we all get old at the end of the day. I know, I'm surprised that she let her upper arms be shown in a movie as they are currently. Oh, Halloween Kills really makes me wonder what what their plans for the third one is. Oh my god. If anyone wants to give their ideas for a Halloween Ends tagline, feel free to type it. That's a good point question, or a good point Wade makes. Okay, so trying to catch up on chat. C-Snap says Jamie Lee wants to be the voice of the demon in the Exorcist remake that's coming. Really? Well, go for it. Oh wait, oh my god. I just realized that he said they're remaking The Exorcist. There you go. Yeah, that the original could use some updating with CG puke. Matt says he's convinced his landscaping business is just a front for some criminal money laundering scheme because he has his guys come to his house multiple times a week to blow almost nothing off his lawn. It's possible. It's possible, but there's some really obsessive people out there as well. But pretty much these days, if you just assume the worst, that's probably the best assumption anyway. Matt says, and constantly doing busy work that they don't really need to do anything. C-Snap says, when Lance Guest in Halloween 2 slips on the blood and hits his head, it's so nasty. I know, it looks real. It looks like he hit his head for real. That scene kind of always got to me too. Every time that happens, it's just like, oh my god, it looks real. And Matt says, I'm 100% serious. Yeah, I don't doubt it. We don't doubt you, do we, people? Will says, I think Jaws Revenge ruined his career. Haha, I can't think of anything Lance Guest was in after that. Yeah, I know. That's a bummer. I like the guy as an actor. Put him in Halloween Ends. Matt says, cop called my phone to tell me basically I can't do shit about the noise, like I already didn't know that. Oh, did you call about it just today, just now, or has that just been in the past? Okay, caught up with chat. C-Snap says, has Jamie Lee got bingo wings? Yeah, you can see them in Halloween Kills. Oh, well, like I say, I mean, I guess we're all going to get them if we live long enough. Oh, Matt says, no, this was last year. C-Snap says, ah, damn, about Jamie Lee's bingo wings. Yeah, let's all try to remember her as she was in Trading Places. Come to think about it, I mean, wasn't she just like pretty much kind of used as just a sex symbol in that movie? It's just kind of funny how she probably felt, going mainstream, that she was making like some kind of positive step in her career when she was kind of just, eye candy more or less in the movie, which was interesting. It's funny because a lot of people would argue in movies like Halloween or maybe The Fog, or maybe not so much The Fog, but definitely Terror Train. In my opinion, she definitely had more of a character than she did in Trading Places. She was just kind of like something to look at in Trading Places, wasn't she? Jason says the marketing of Halloween Ends is more of a smoke and mirrors marketing ploy. It's not going to be the last Halloween in less than 10 years. There'll be another reboot, alternative timeline. Well, I think I've said it on the show kind of jokingly, but it's probably more truth to it than anything, that I can imagine, because supposedly Halloween Kills was the best performing one of the Halloween franchise to date. So imagine Halloween Ends even tops that, which makes them, do Halloween Ends Part 2. Can you imagine? Halloween Ends Part 2, the real end. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. It's not going to be the last time Michael Myers appears. Will says it's sad Richard Dreyfuss is the only one still left out of the 3 original main characters from original Jaws, Miss Roy Scheider. Yeah, that's true. But I'm glad Roy didn't have to experience what the world turned into. Yeah, isn't Roy Scheider great? I hope Will Powell Will, have you seen Will Powell? Have you seen Still of the Night? Oh, that might be one of my favorite Roy Scheider movies. Still of the Night. I highly recommend it. C Snap says she had a great body, but not great boat race in the face in parentheses. So in Ireland, a boat race is a face. Yeah, yeah. Well, she even rips on her face in the original Halloween commentary from '94. So even she knows that. Sorry, Jamie Lee, if because I'm sure you're listening after the fact. Will says I watched Terror Train recently. I liked it. Some creepy shots and the villain is good. Oh, is it the first time you saw it? I'm assuming. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I love the atmosphere and the music and oh, I'm glad you liked it. Glad you saw it. Wade says, "Is Tom Atkins too old to do Halloween 3 sequel? I keep seeing things online about a possible Halloween 3 sequel, and I think we talked about it on here. Atkins is 86." Oh shit. Yeah, we did talk about it on a show. Yeah, I'd say he's too old, but what the hell? Shit. C Snap says, I love Jaws too. Also, the John Williams soundtrack is amazing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the first three Jaws movies. I think Jaws 2 is a very, very, very fantastic continuation of the first movie. In a lot of ways, you can almost just it's a really, really good sequel to the first movie, and you're right. Having John Williams back was huge for Jaws too. It's just a bummer that that movie, even now on Blu-ray, has never been opened up on the audio end of it. It's still mono. But I agree with you. Jaws 2 is a really great continuation of the characters and stuff from the first movie. It has the feeling of the first movie, really continues the feeling really well. So I agree with that. C-Snap thinks thinks Tom Atkins could pull off being reprising his role as shit. I can't think of his character's name in Halloween 3, but C Snap thinks he could do it at 86. Will says, no, I haven't seen Still of the Night. Can you give me a basic plot without spoilers? Kind of a Hitchcockian mystery. Let's see, what is the plot? I'm trying to think what the plot is. Just a kind of a really well done, subtle, low key murder mystery, I guess, with really creepy, low key, yeah, suspense murder mystery. I guess it's pretty much all I can say. C Snap says boat race is London Cockney for face. Okay, so I guess to get the full effect, I'd have to do the accent, but I don't know if I can do the London Cockney. Boat race. Boat race. That's as good as I can do. Jason says Lance Guest was without a doubt blackballed. He was a good looking dude that could act. He gets all of his gigs on TV, which is a shame. Yeah, he had a good on screen presence. He's probably kind of a decent guy in real life. He kind of comes across to me. CSEP says Roy was great in The French Connection with Gene Hackman. Yeah, I've seen that, but I'm not so familiar with it. But yeah, I would imagine that's a good one as well. I grew up with and Still the Night, so it's a big, huge part, of my. Whenever I think of Roy Scheider, I just think of Still the Night. So C-Snap totally agrees with me about Jaws too. Yeah, it's a very competent Jaws sequel. probably mostly because I think it was the original or the same producers from the first movie. So even without Mr. Spielberg's participation, they still, did a fantastic Jaws sequel. Will says he likes Jaws 2 very much, doesn't quite have the filmmaking chops of Spielberg, but it's a good movie nonetheless. Ah, C-Snap, thank you. Dr. Dan Chalice is can't think of the actor. Tom Atkins character in Halloween 3. Thank you very much, Dr. Chalice. Dr. Chalice. Ah, Mr. Smith. I'm sorry about that little disturbance last night. I want you to know that Mrs. Gutman is fine. She's been moved to a hospital in San Diego. Jason says early Jamie Lee was girl next door. Pretty to say she was ugly isn't really fair. That's true. I really thought she was cute in Halloween and well, she's pretty cute in The Fog. Jason says Tom Atkins is a huge draw on the convention circuit. He looks and sounds awesome for his age. Yeah, I can remember being impressed by his appearance in the horrible, dreadful what's it called? My Bloody Valentine 3D is just like, wow, he's that one bit where he's yelling or something, people are arguing, he's like, shut the fuck up or whatever. He was fun in that movie. C-Snap says my Cochran sounds more like an Englishman, Nate. But I think I did a pretty good Cochran right there. That's what he sounds like. He doesn't sound like an Irishman. Have you seen the movie? Looks like Matt's heading out, which makes sense. It's been nearly 2 hours of show. Thanks for showing up, Matt. If you want to record your neighbor leaf blowing and upload that, we'd all love to see it. Thanks for showing up early, Matt, and staying with us for so long. See you next time. Gary says, love Jamie Lee in Trading Places. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Trading Places and her participation in it. Will says, I still think the first Jaws doesn't get mentioned enough for how shocking some of it is. The scene where the kid gets eaten still disturbs me more than most horror. Yeah, pretty disturbing. Imagine how disturbing it was back when it came out. Will says not many movies would go that far. You mean nowadays? Probably not. C-Snap says, no, he's Irish. Total Irish accent on Cochran. Well, I guess we're hearing different things. I mean, I know the character's supposed to be Irish, but for me, the accent I did is what I hear when that character talks, but that's okay. We'll agree to disagree, Mr. Irishman. Nice skull there. Yeah, so we're approaching 2 hours. I don't know how much longer to go. I guess we could go another 30 minutes. Generally, my brain's generally mush by this time, but I guess we're still got a pretty decent amount of interaction now. Should we say another 30 minutes and call it good, or what should we say? C-Snap said Dan O'Herlihy's son died recently. Well, gee, thanks for that bit of uplifting news. And then he has faces with crying tears of laughter. So I don't know if C-Snap murdered him or what. Yeah, well, I'd say pretty successful show this week. Freaking people showing up in chat right at the start of the show. Gary says definitely Cochran looks like Mr. Burns. Who's Mr. Burns? George Burns? Jason says there was always rumors of a longer cut of Trading Places. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard that. Were there? Like any rumors about what was in the longer cut? Huh. Will says he's been meaning to watch the original When a Stranger Calls. Any good? I don't think I've seen it myself. I think I've Oh, Mr. Burns. Yeah, I'm not a Simpsons fan, but okay. Gary says it's Mr. Burns is from The Simpsons. Yeah, I can't offer any comment on the original When a Stranger Calls. I would imagine if that's from the 70s, I would imagine it's kind of fun. I mean, can't really go wrong with the 70s compared to crap they're making now. Maybe I have. I can't remember what. Do we know who is in? Who do we know who? I'm just trying to think if I did see When a Stranger Calls. Is it the one that was directed for TV by John Carpenter, or is that something else? He did something like that as well. If it's the John Carpenter one, I did see that. If it's not, I haven't seen it. Maybe the John Carpenter one is someone's watching you. Well, we just passed 2 hours. I think at this point we can say we can go for another 29 minutes. It's going to be soon 28 minutes since the show's people's participation is still pretty strong. I hate to bail on people that are enjoying this. C-Snap says Charles Durning. So is he in it or directed it? Yeah, the one on the Carpenter one was probably Someone Is Watching You. Jason says The Simpsons. C-Snap says Charles Durning was great in Dark Night of the Scarecrow. Oh yeah, I remember that guy. When's the last time we heard from... Oh, okay, Wade. Oh, shit. Sorry, Wade. I missed one of your comments. Wade said a while back, did you know that Spielberg had a big role in the creation of the movie Small Soldiers? I believe he was not credited. I think Spielberg's sister worked on Small Soldiers. She may have written the script. I don't think I knew that, but isn't that movie a... I think they're now... Are they defunct now, the DreamWorks? Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything in the early years of DreamWorks Pictures was kind of more or less Spielberg because it was his company, wasn't it? Sorry, I missed that comment. If I miss a comment, it's never on purpose. I was distracted by C-Snap's claim that my Cochran didn't sound right. Will says he has to watch the original Black Christmas again. I watched it one year and wasn't all that impressed and gave it another chance a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. I think it's awesome. Yeah, the problem with the original Black Christmas for me is like it's the atmosphere and like just the performers and everything is just really amazing. But my biggest problem, one part of me loves it for that reason, just the great the humor in it and the atmosphere and the actors and stuff in it, but it's like it just ever since I first saw it, it like never for me it just never really goes anywhere. It just like exists. But that's okay. It's okay if it exists, but for me, like the last half of it is not as entertaining as the first half because it's kind of like the movie. What the hell else? Like April Fool's Day, the one from the '80s. For me, the best part of that movie is the first half when all the characters are still alive. When people start dying, characters that you like in Black Christmas's case, you kind of have fun with the Mrs. Mac character and whatever her name is, Lois Lane, the woman who plays Lois Lane in the '70s Superman movies character. Once these fun characters start dying off, the movie gets less and less interesting for me as the time goes on. But the original Black Christmas is more or less, a fun or a movie that I appreciate. But I can see why you didn't like it when you first saw it because it's like not a lot happens, but it's a great documentation of 1974 Canada. It's got that quaintness that early Canadian movies had. C-Snap says Black Christmas was better than Stranger Calls. Yeah, I can probably agree with that. Jason says like a work print could just be talk. Wait, like a work print could just be talk was a lot of talk. I don't know what he's saying. A lot of talk in '99 to '01, but never seen it. There was a lot of talk of the Creep Show work print didn't exist, but it did. Gary says, is anybody a Duel 1970 fan? Oh, I grew up with Duel. I'm a huge fan of Duel. I was lucky enough to be able to go see that at an art house theater back in the first decade of the 21st century and see see it in the art house theater 35 millimeter projection. I'm a huge fan of Duel. C Snap says Duel is great. Yes. Yeah. Come on, you miserable fathead. Get your fat ass truck out of my way. Well, I'm never going to make that appointment now. You miserable. Gary says, thanks, C-Snap. Wade says someone was selling Black Christmas Laserdisc for $25 on eBay a couple of months ago and someone snagged it. This Laserdisc usually sells for over $200. Someone got a deal, damn it. I wonder what home video outfit put that out on Laserdisc. Does Wade know? Wade thought about getting it, but he was broke, so he missed it, sadly. Man, yeah, sometimes you get a deal, kind of like that Part 7 hockey mask I got this past summer. I think I got it for a lot cheaper than I should have, but I'm okay with that. Wade says, I already read that. Jason says, when a stranger calls, original has Carol Kane. Awesome film got ripped off by so many other horror films. Will says, I had the exact same reaction to you, Nate. Then I watched it again and loved the ending. If you haven't seen for a while, I advise to watch it. Yeah, I got the Blu-ray just a couple weeks ago, and I've seen it twice in the last couple weeks, so I'm pretty familiar with it. But I do love the atmosphere of the original one, and what's her name is fun to look at. It's just the original Black Christmas just has that 70s realism about it, and the characters are just real. The humor is fun. Will says, I think it captures that strange period of getting ready for Christmas when everyone is a little too relaxed and kind of drinking too much, and a killer lurking in the loft makes a great atmosphere. Yeah, it's creepy. One thing I don't like about it though is the phone calls. Like it's not that I'm grossed out by what he's saying, but those is just kind of annoying to me, but I understand how they just wanted to go over the top with all the sounds and stuff. But those are some of my least favorite moments of the movie is the phone calls. And you know what's pathetic with the Scream Factory Blu-ray is that guy, I guess there's so many extras on the Blu-ray and there's like so many audio tracks and stuff. I think there's a couple commentaries or two or three commentaries, but there's like an audio track of the main guy who did the phone call voice doing the whole movie commentary as Billy, like anyone would want to listen to that for 90 minutes. Holy crap. But not I sure won't be listening to that because I'm not a fan of all the Billy talk, but Jason says Bob Clark, the director of Black Christmas, is such an underrated director. He was in many ways a gonzo filmmaker. I'm not exactly sure what gonzo is, but it wasn't it funny how he made a couple of the most famous Christmas movies, though? Christmas Story is also a great one, I think, as well. Will says the howling wind sound is awesome. Oh, in the movie? And Black Christmas? Yeah. Oh, the atmosphere in Black Christmas couldn't be better, in my opinion. That's great. Gary says in what's it called? Reference to Duel. Dennis Weaver had a bad day, that's for sure. I'm never gonna make that appointment now. Gary says Carol Kane, Scrooged. I've got to watch that. C-Snap says, hey, Nate, gotta go. See you guys next week. Joe. See you guys next week. Screw the accent. Thanks for showing up, C-Snap. We'll see you. Have a good week. Have a good week there. Wade says, anyone else think the pricing of some laser discs are ridiculous? I see Iron Giant, Matrix, Sleepy Hollow all priced at over $300 on eBay. Who do they think will pay those insane prices? Yeah, I can't say I'm looking at laser discs on eBay, but now that you mention it, those are some pretty crazy prices. Will says, Billy, Billy, Billy. Yeah, not a big fan of them phone calls, but that's just me. Obviously, they just wanted to go creepy with it, and they sure achieved that. Gary says Margot Kidder was great in Black Christmas. Yeah, I was trying to remember her name earlier. Yeah, that's one of my problems with the movie. As I was saying, these characters that are so entertaining in Black Christmas, like Margot Kidder's character and Mrs. Mack, when they start dying, although Margot lasts pretty long into the movie, the movie gets less interesting because those characters are fun. I wish there was actually more Margot Kidder in Black Christmas. Her character was great. Will says that scene when the kids are singing outside and the murder is taking place upstairs to that beautiful singing music. It's very ironic use of music and haunting. That's true. It's like this beautiful kids caroling and during the murder, and because of the kids are caroling, the main character can't hear the murder. So that's an interesting moment there. Wade says, was it Carrie Fisher or Margot Kidder that went to the Dakota pipeline to protest? I believe that was Carrie Fisher. Yeah, I can't say I know that one way or the other, but they won't be doing any protesting anymore. Jason says Porky's real deal game changer in team comedies. Oh yeah, I forgot about Porky's as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think Bob Clark did some important movies. Pretty heavy chat participation this week, that's for sure. My mind is a veritable mush. Veritable mush. Will says he's off now. Lovely chatting to you, and I'll try to tune in more in the future. Have a great Christmas. Yeah, best of luck with your mood over there. Life sucks for all of us, so you're not alone in that aspect, that's for sure. And maybe continuing to plan out your North American itinerary will help. But thanks for showing up, and until next time, all the best and bah humbug. Wade says, didn't Margot Kidder get caught running around nude going through trash years ago? Obviously, when she was still alive. I think she had a drug problem, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it could be. I'm not up on really whatchamacallit popular media stories per se, but I wouldn't be surprised. Jason says that because eBay has been letting stuff slide, a brand new copy of OG Ghostbusters on VHS sealed was selling for $2,500. Will says, or should I say, have a great Black Christmas? Yeah, that'd be better. Have a great Black Christmas. Mush mind. Gary says, Gary is pleading, Nate, please, can you do another Nate and Beth show over Christmas? I'll try. You know, part of it is if she feels like it as well. If you say something really nice about her participation, or what you like about the Nate and Beth shows in a comment, I can show her, and that will encourage her to participate. For some reason, as she mentioned in the last Nate and Beth show, she feels, well, because she's not a movie connoisseur, she feels inadequate to be on a movie channel. It's just like, the radio shows aren't all, it doesn't, anyway, I tried to tell her, you're not inadequate, people enjoy it. So I'll suggest it. We'll do our best. Thanks for the recommendation. Will says, just before I go, trivia point, apparently Elvis Presley was a massive fan of Black Christmas and watched it every year until his death. I can remember hearing something about that, but it seemed like it was another celebrity. But maybe they say it about every celebrity. Thank you, Will, for that little bit of Black Christmas trivia, which may or may not be true. Seems like I heard the same thing about a different celebrity. Jason says probably both. They were both 60s hippies, and I think he's talking about the pipeline protesting. They did a lot of protesting for various things in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, protesting changes a lot, doesn't it? There's this funny Woody Allen movie. I think it's called hell. It's from the late 60s or early 70s. It's just got a goofball title, but there's this funny early old Woody Allen movie that this woman, the woman who'd go on to be the mom in Blood Rage, she's in it, and her character, I think, goes to protests, and I think he kind of makes fun of protests and how they're just kind of pointless. I can't think of the movie. Oh, Bananas. It's called Bananas. It's kind of a fun movie. Early Woody Allen. Wade says, did any of you see the movie Entity? It's a strange movie. Yeah, I've heard of it. I can't remember if I've seen it. Will says, this is a long goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Merry Christmas, Black Christmas. I added that part. And all the best. And don't forget to check what's hiding in the loft when you get the Christmas decorations down. Oh, no, Billy. Agnes. Yeah, we'll see about a possible. I can't promise anything, but we'll see about a possible Nate and Beth show Christmas celebration. Not promising anything. It depends on how both of us feel and if both of us are willing. Well, I'm pretty much always willing. She's got to be willing. Thanks for the Christmas wishes, Will. Jason says people forget Robert Downey Jr. was also coked out of his mind, breaking into people's houses, caught sleeping on sidewalks. Odd, all this horrible behavior gets washed away. Yeah, it's like whatever's they put in media. It's like media is so powerful that if they want people to think bad about someone, they will. And if they want people to forget if people were bad, then they will. Media has all the control and power. Matthew's back. He says, "Oh shit, I didn't realize you were still streaming." Yeah, I couldn't bail on these people at 2 hours in like I wanted to because the participation was still so strong. It's hard to end when participation is still so strong. Did you think I was going to end at 2 hours? I wanted to. Believe me, I wanted to. Wade says, I just recently watched Ants on Laserdisc with my father. Woody Allen is the main voice actor in the movie. With a bunch of other celebrities. Sylvester Stallone is also in Ants. I don't know if I knew that, but I knew Woody Allen was the main ant or one of them. Jason says, yes, more Beth, please. Jason says Elvis was crazy. I believe he probably watched Black Christmas a lot when he wasn't using a gun to change the channel. Matt says, funny how media has no power like people or over people like us, Nate. Yeah, that's true. There's some people that it can't work on. Some people have the old CS, which isn't very common. Common sense. Gary says, oh, Christ. Agnes, my mom's name. Oh, Jesus. Don't show her Black Christmas. Great. We ruined Black Christmas for Gary. Don't tell me your uncle's name is Billy. We got 2 votes. Votes for more Beth, Nate and Beth show. One thing that I can say is if you guys like after the fact in any video whatsoever, if you can leave a comment, maybe it doesn't matter what video, something that says I know Jason's already done it and I've shown Beth some of those comments, but any positive Nate and Beth show Beth comments will help. I can show Beth and help her. She's got this complex like she's inadequate on the show. I don't know why we can't talk her out of that. We don't care if she knows what we know about movies or not. We just want to hear from her, right? Right, guys? Hmm. So we know Matt's not really interested in doing his own live streams anymore. Is Matt going to be doing any more videos? You know, recording neighbors leaf blowing or anything, or is he just not motivated to do any output? Wade says, didn't Albert Einstein also marry a relative? His might even have been blood related. So many weirdos out there. I can't say I know. And Gary says, no, Neil Page. Oh, that's right. Your uncle was Neil Page. From the character from Trains, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Matt says in regards to my question, he says, I don't know, he's trying to move. That's right. Well, who's gonna live in the shed then? Will Powell? Do you think you can move during the winter? Is that practical? Matt says, I have most of my stuff packed in moving boxes, just gotta find land to buy. Okay. I don't know if is a good thing to do in the winter or you don't care. Wade says my Woody Allen comment didn't show up. Censorship. When the hell did you make it? The one about ants? I read that. That's the only Woody Allen comment I saw. The one about ants and Sylvester Stallone in Ants. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you said, okay. Yeah, we know about his marrying the adopted daughter. Yeah, I hear you on that. But I mean, on one hand, it's goofy, but on the other hand, yeah, it's goofy. Matt says I gotta unload those dollars that are being inflated away into some land. Oh my God, don't remind me. Yeah, and then they can tax it like crazy. Oh, what a world. Jason says I highly recommend both sci-fi's Chucky and Day of the Dead, both real throwbacks to the 1980s, and it's sad the internet has buried Day of the Dead. But I heard there's there's a lot of annoying current kind of mindset stuff in Chucky, or is it not that much? Some, but not enough to ruin the show. Thanks for the recommendations. Yeah, I'm curious about kind of Chucky, kind of. Matt says, no, not practical at all, but we're running out of time to do anything. God knows what'll happen by spring. That's true. Wade says, I love multiple conversations. Wade says, oh, yeah, I already read that. Jason says, Beth has a very soothing voice. Yeah, I showed her that comment. Yeah, you made. Thank you. She should do more. It adds more dynamic to your show. Okay, maybe say one of those things in the comments on any video, because I can't. It's harder for me to show her something out of the live stream chat than it is a standard comment on a video. But yeah, I've showed her your comments in the past. We'll see if we can hopefully get her to do more. And like I say, winter is the perfect time to do it because there's nothing else to do in this climate. We'll try our best for more Nate and Beth shows. Wade says Woody Allen isn't overly political like some other celebrities, so I don't really mind him. I despise actors that shovel their political views nonstop to brainwash their fans. That's what they're doing. Yeah, that's a bunch of bull crap. He's a really good. Is that called a clarinet? There's this really cool Woody Allen documentary that showcases his. Because he had, I don't know if he still does, but he had like a band. He's all into like the old kind of big band jazz music of the early 20th century, as I am as well. And he plays like there's this cool documentary, I can't remember what it's called, where he's playing, they're following him going to Europe playing with this band. Is it like Wild Man Blues or something? But there's this cool documentary with him showcasing the musical aspect of his life, and I think is it a clarinet? I think it's a clarinet that he plays. Quite the musician, actually. So I agree with Wade's thoughts there. Okay, Wade's thought is Chucky TV show is, yeah, alphabet friendly. That's a good way to put it. Gary says, but apparently it doesn't bother Jason as he recommended the show, so I'm assuming that maybe there's not a whole lot of alphabet soup in it. Gary says, I've been censored a lot on YouTube. It's like the early 80s video nasties in the UK. Oh no. Oh no. Oh God. So we're 2 hours, 30 minutes into the show. I can tell you one thing, I'm never going to go longer than 3 hours ever again. So, well, I guess we can keep going as there's still a decent amount of chat input. If we go to 3 hours, I guess we go to 3 hours. It's winter. What else is there to do? Hell with it. Obviously, my mind isn't mush enough to do it still. I can, uh-huh. Wade says, oh, I don't think I'm going to read it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to read it. Read the chat to see what Wade says regarding Chucky series. Oh, oh, yeah. Why not find a couple of actors that wouldn't mind it? That's pretty sad. Oh, that's wrong, man. Read what Wade says if you want to know what I'm talking about. Jason says, in Jason's opinion, it's funny how we got two completely opposite opinions here, but Jason says it's not bad. Both Chucky and Day are really good. Hard rated R on basic cable, both also very ultra violent. They only air Day of the Dead once a episode. Do we want a a weather report? Probably everyone wants to know the current temperature where I am. Looks like it says 20 degrees Fahrenheit currently where I am, so yay. It's supposed to get down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. Wade says, I like Chucky, the TV show, but there's also a lot of things in it that I know will bother Nate. Nate reminds me of my father. In a good way or an annoying way? Matt says, do you see Beth a lot? I'd say in recent times more than in the past. In recent times, mostly every weekend is generally, and I can't say for sure, but in the past, if she's got time off over the quote unquote holidays, we'd probably be together. Like Thanksgiving, we did didn't we do something? Oh no, I did the Thanksgiving show, but then she came over and we got corporate pizza. So more or less, every weekend or something like that. So, yeah. Matt says if I asks if I visit her place, no, not as much as she'd probably like because I mean, we're both not really big fans of her place, so we'd rather be at my place, I guess, or I would. Matt says, hey, corporate pizza is one of the few good corporate things that exist. Yeah, that's true. Jason says, but I've watched both shows from beginning to end. I think horror snobs just have to find anything to complain about. That's kind of a problem in the community as well. The horror snobs. I don't. I like to think I'm not a horror snob. Matt says, "Have you ever done a house tour? What does that mean? Just showing off my dwelling on online? No, I'm not gonna." There's some things that are supposed to be remain a mystery, like you did. Oh, like you did with the shed tour. Nah, I'm not gonna do a dwelling tour. I think people would be really surprised how messy my dwelling is. My dad wouldn't be probably very happy, but I mean, when I clean up, I can't find anything. And every time I clean up, I mean, it just slowly gets messy anyway. So I'm like, I just stopped fighting it. Obviously, my dwelling wants to be messy. But you've heard people have heard about the organized mess. You know, that's what I've got, organized mess. Matt says your dwelling looks nice from the two rooms I've seen. Well, right. You only show the nice bits. You should see what's. It's so funny because the winter studio, there's actually piles of like just tapes and just trash right underneath the posters. So it looks all you know, tidy and clean and nice, but right under right beneath what you can't see, it's just trash and piles of crap. That's so funny. Yeah, you only put out in the world what you want people to see. Wade says, my father does not like TV shows, commercials, or movies that look like they are trying to force things onto others, forced to be accept certain lifestyles or manipulating a child's brain with stuff. Okay, so the fact that I remind you of your dad, is that a good thing then? Or do you not like that about him? I'd say your dad kind of has the right attitude, but that's just me. Jason says they fawn over Halloween reboot. Oh, I think he's talking about horror snobs. They fawn over Halloween reboot and see very little negative in that trash fire, but Chucky is horrible for other reasons. Okay, I must not be a horror snob because I can see all what's wrong with the current Halloween movies. So Gary thinks we need a Nate's house showcasing. Oh well, too bad. Maybe if we can get enough donations. Wade says, I like that about my dad because people should be allowed to have their own opinions on things. I don't like how the media normalizes every single thing. I believe this can have a negative effect on children. That's for darn sure. Yeah, man. Oh, I feel so bad for the kids growing up now. Oh my God. Talk about an assault. What the tragedy is, kids don't know they're being assaulted because they don't know anything else. That's what's so sad about it. Matt says, Nate, you got to go back to work. We need people to work. Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm just not trying hard enough. Jason says, better than a plain mess. I don't know if he's talking about my dwelling. Yeah, it's funny how the two places that I shoot videos at are like, I mean, obviously though you're gonna make those look all nifty and nice. They're not gonna be representative of what the rest of the dwelling looks like. Matt says, imagine having to wear something or other at work. If school prison wasn't bad enough as it was, now they have to, yeah, put something on their heads. Isn't that something? Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I figured. Matt meant, yeah. Oh, God. I feel so bad for the kids. Honestly, I think the young people, I don't know about elementary school, but I think the teens and stuff, I don't know if they dig it now so much, but I think like last year, I think the teens almost kind of had fun with it, which was kind of pathetic. It was almost like a fashion statement. You'd always see kids, teens out there with it, if they were outdoors or something, if it'd be the whole under the chin thing, which I think is the stupidest look. Like it's so difficult to take it off. I think some of the teenagers almost, I don't know, it was almost like just one more fashion accessory for them. So, oh, so sad though. Wade says Hollywood has a long history at abusing children. Directors have abused children. Now they are abusing them with confusing them and using it on TV shows, etc. Yeah, good point. And that whole aspect about that detail of the Chucky series you mentioned, that's just too bad, man. I mean, like I say, if you're gonna have a couple of guys do that, get a couple of guys that wanna. Matt says, apparently, in my state of PA, they got rid of the you know what mandate at the schools. But get this, Nate, my county voted against it and are still enforcing the you know what. Man. So the state got rid of it, but your county wants it. Oh, man. Gary gives some very encouraging feedback. He says the new studio looks great. I'm glad you guys are, I mean, glad you enjoy it. Yeah, it'll be fun for the winter, and in the spring the normal studio will be back hopefully. But for now you can look at some classic posters. Matt says all the soccer moms in my area online are like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Live in fear and raise your kids in fear. Matt says, I think we are living in some type of invasion of the body snatchers, or maybe invasion of the mind snatchers, definitely. Matt says, these people can't be real, can they? I don't see them as humans. I often thought that, like, like the religious types and these people that are just so taken with whatever comes out of the media and quote unquote authorities and stuff, they almost do seem like they're not even human. And it brings us back to that movie by the name of They Live. And there's so much plausible, you know, They Live has got so much truth in it. So we're getting close to being 15 minutes away from 3 hours. I'm afraid I can't go any more than 3 hours because my mind is mush, but we've got about 15 minutes of show left, everyone. Yeah, I agree with Matt on that one. Wade says these same people that, let's see, okay, I don't think I'm going to read it. Well, let me read it first. Yeah, I'm not going to read it. Thank you for your input there, Wade. Read it if you want to. Anyone listening? Gary says, Is Gary, are you kidding or are you for real? I'm not going to read that either. Uh-oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, Gary. Oh, that's saddening. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Jason says, I ain't going to read that either. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Gary might. Yeah, it's hard to tell if Gary's kidding or not. All right, everyone. About 15 minutes of lovely show left if my mind isn't too mush for me to make it. Yeah, that's true. Matt says I'm not going to say it out loud. Yeah, that's okay. I'll stay here and just not read certain things, but I hear you. Wow, well, we're getting to where I can't read any of this stuff. This is easy. Yep, that's one thing that's easy about comments that are controversial is I don't have to read them out loud. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like Matt's destroying his own comments. Okay, well, it looks like there are some differences between. Yeah, I don't think I'm even going to say that. God damn it. Wade's got something or said something that I'm not going to read out loud. Thanks for the info, Wade. Well, it's quite possible that Matt will see Matrix 4 before a lot of us without access to HBO, whatever it's called, Max. So it'll be interesting to see if Matt can share his thoughts on Matrix 4 after he sees it. And I guess, not being a big fan of Spider-Man Far From Home, we can also possibly see what he thinks of I can't remember what the third one's called. No Way Home. See if that is an improvement of the second one or just as bad or worse. Gary apologizes for causing a shitstorm. Apology accepted. Matt says something you can read in the chat replay. All right, Gary, just for that No Nate and Beth show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Matt says something. Feel free to read it in the chat replay. Coming up on 10 minutes of show left. hoping to do 2 hours today, but it's just so hard to when you've got a good, show going with people, pretty heavily contributing in the chat. It's hard to just bail on people. So I figure hell with it. Give you guys 3 hours. Did you leave because you thought the show was going to end, or you just needed a break? Yeah, probably you got to piss or shit or something. Gary says loves Spider-Man. I like the Wizard of Oz. I like the Tin Man. Matt says, oh wait, I better read this first. Gary says, sorry with the tear and sad face. If he's crying about for ruining or doing the shitstorm, that's okay. And I was just kidding about the Nate and Beth show, but Beth has to want to do it as well. The show, that is. Okay, I think I can safely read this. Wade says, you guys and possible gals, you think any of us are gals? Like chicken nuggets with honey mustard? I don't even do chicken nuggets anymore. I don't do McDonald's anymore. Are chicken nuggets, those aren't only McDonald's. Those are McNuggets at McDonald's. Okay. Yeah, if I ever have chicken nuggets, I think I generally put ketchup on them. I don't think I like honey mustard. Or what Matt says, chicken nuggets plain. Wade saved our asses here by changing the subject into something I can actually read out loud for the last 8.5 minutes. Yeah, either chicken nuggets plain or with ketchup. Or you know what? I used to, when I was a kid, I used to like honey on them. What do we think about chicken nuggets with honey? That seems weird to me now, but I used to like that. Wade says we have frozen chicken nuggets at our household. Okay, so you probably heat them up in the old microwave. And did you know that a microwave used to be called a radar range? Wade says, also, I don't know what some of your viewers. Oh shit! Is that a joke? Are you just making a joke? Oh, Wade says he does the air fryer or oven, never microwave. Okay. Air fryer or the oven for his frozen chicken nuggets. Okay. Oh, Matt. Oh. Matt's a non-human. I hear you there. You mean you're a member of Congress? Let's see here. Okay, so Wade, I think I can read this. Wade says, I find microwave to be gross. The only time I use microwave is for popcorn or cooking egg in it so I can make an egg bagel cheese sandwich. Matt laughed at my Congress joke. Yeah, them Congress people, they get paid well, so I can understand why you're going to go buy some land, because you're a congressperson. Congressman. Hey, Wade took Matt's thing. Matt said that once. Oh, yeah, I can't read these in case people listening are wondering why I'm not reading them. Oh, Yep, huh. All right, everyone. About 6 minutes of show left. I get to rest my brain. I can't read that either. Matt's laughing his ass off in caps. Well, sorry to hear that no one's donated to your YouTube, but oh well. Yeah, I can imagine that would be the case. Gary says, "Can I cook a whole chicken in a microwave?" Yeah, I don't know. I think chicken has to be if it's raw. I don't think you can if it's raw. You can reheat it though. Chicken has to be, from what I understand, done correctly. Otherwise, it can be bad unless it's just more fear porn. Well, this was quite the successful show, minus the possible technical difficulties. I don't know if did the technical difficulties fade away or did they persist the whole time? Whenever I turned the phone on for the weirdo moments of the show, I didn't hear much except for the occasional clipping. Gary says, "Haha, not much movie chat tonight." Well, it's nighttime where he is in the UK. Yeah, sometimes the show gets derailed, but it's movie and or anything chat, I guess. Matt says, "Isn't the idea when eating raw meat is to eat it raw as soon as possible? So probably right after you kill the animal, just eat it like every other animal does." Yeah, I'm not going to try it, but maybe that would be the best way to do it. I mean, you don't see a lions in Africa, fillet the zebra and put it on the grill. I appreciate everyone showing up this week and the 4 hitchhikers. Starting the wind down period here, as there's going to be, if I'm doing math correct, 3 minutes of show left? We're starting right about now. Just a warning to anyone listening at the 3 hour mark. I'm just going to cut it off. The show that is. Just cut off the show at the 3 hour mark, regardless of what people are saying, because I got to save my mind from the mush. Yeah, Matt says not very practical to eat the meat raw in modern society. That's true. Well, as I said, the more positive comments in chat or in any comments left in any other video in regards to Nate and Beth's show, the more positive comments I can show to Beth, the more chance she'll be willing to do more Nate and Beth shows. Just a heads up for anyone that might want to leave positive comments about the Nate and Beth show. Gary Page says a very good suggestion. Don't eat raw chicken. Then Matt counters with, but what about a survival situation? Yeah, we could be testing that theory very soon now. I'd say about 90 seconds remaining. I don't know if I'm doing that. I think I did that math right. My mind is mush. God. I think once in the early winter, I went like nearly 4 hours. I don't know how I managed that. My mind's mush 2 hours in now. Well, Matt was with us for more or less the whole 3 hours, which was impressive. So thank you very much for that. Can't remember what time Gary showed up, but who knows? About a minute left, everyone. 50 seconds left. It's been a hoot. We'll see what we can do about a future Nate and Beth show. It's nice to relax the old voice. Reading and talking for 3 hours straight, I tell you. Gary says, see you next week, Nate. Thumbs up. Matt says, I meant there's a lot of people online that eat raw meat, unless they're all fake, which who knows, maybe they are, but meat looks real and they eat it and swallow it. So, yeah, it's hard to say. All right, 3 hours. Wade says adios. Matt doesn't say anything in regards to leaving, so I guess we'll leave it there. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for showing up to those who showed up early. Matt says later. Appreciate it. Pretty good show this week. We'll see you next time. Gotta save my mind, mush.